Hello, what is the most important tool in your DevOps journey? Hello and welcome to tSQLt Live DevOps Edition. I started this video podcast to talk about what DevOps is, why it is important, how to get started, and also some more advanced topics. So no matter where you're at in your DevOps journey, there's going to be something for you in here. And yeah, today I would like to look at the question, what is an automation server? There are two types of automation servers. They are, well, you have one automation server in your CI pipeline, and if you implement one, you also have another automation server in your CD pipeline. And while both automation servers can do, both types of automation servers can do both tasks, the products out there tend to focus on one or the other and will be better executing that one or the other. So let's start out by looking at the different types of, well, the different implementations of CI servers. But first, before we go there, what does a CI server do? A CI server has several tasks to do in the CI pipeline, including compiling the code, building the application or the software package, and then doing the same thing with the tests, building and compiling those. Then the next thing that you want to do in your automation in your CI pipeline is to create and publish an artifact. And after that, after you have done that artifact, you want to create your CI, the environment where you want to run the tests. And depending on what your software is and what your installation requirements are, that might actually run directly on the automation server agent, but it also might run on a separate environment that the automation server sets up. Think about a database instance, or think about a Node.js server somewhere running in a container. So your automation server potentially has a task in the pipeline to create and or reset your CI environment. After that is done, automation server should deploy the application to that environment that was just created. And there it is important that the published artifact is used for that deployment. That way you can be sure that the artifact is the thing that gets tested and at the end certified. So you don't publish one version and accidentally, because there's a bug in your CI pipeline, test another version of the build application. If you build the application, publish the artifact, and then run the tests from an installation of that same artifact, you can be sure that a defect in your pipeline cannot cause you to accidentally test another thing than you're certifying. And finally, the last step in your CI pipeline, in most CI pipelines, is to deploy and run the tests and then report back on the results. So these are the steps that your CI automation server usually does. And there are several CI servers on the market. You can also look at CD servers, continuous deployment servers. They have significantly less things to worry about, but what they're worrying about, what they execute, is quite different. So the first step is to deploy the artifact, but now we are not talking about deploying it into a pristine and brand new environment, but rather into an existing environment, into an existing production environment, for example. And that means that you potentially cannot just replace, but you might have to do some form of incremental deployment. Then your automation server, your CD automation server should be able to deal with all the tests that you want to run during a deployment. In one of the earlier episodes, we talked about which type of tests you want to execute during deployment. Things like a smoke test, a preliminary quick run-through performance test, just to see if most of the most important functions quickly degraded, and so on. One specific test that you might want to execute during deployment with your CD server is a canary test. And to do that, your CD automation server needs to be able to handle partial deploys and then also manage that. So like say you have many production environments for many different customers, so that CD system should be able to pick a few, deploy there, and then in a later phase, when it is decided that everything worked as designed, as expected, deploy to all the remaining environments. So those are the responsibilities for a CD automation server. And now finally, let's look at some examples. CI servers, you have Azure DevOps, which runs in the cloud. You have GitHub Actions, which also runs in the cloud. And then you have TeamCity, Jenkins, and Bamboo, which come as on-prem installations. They might also have cloud versions, but usually I see them used on-prem. That are CD servers, and in one of the next videos I'm going to a CI server, and in one of the next videos I'm going to talk about what you need to look out for when you're picking an automation server. Let's also look at two CD automation server examples. There is Octopus Deploy and Argo CD. There are certainly more out there, but they are just two of the names that I keep hearing out there, of the systems that I run across being used out there. And again, as I said in the beginning, you probably can use your CI automation server to do CD work and the other way around, but you probably do not want to. If you're serious about this, get a CI server that's specialized on doing CI work and a CD server that's specialized on doing CD work, and then make use of that functionality. And that is all I had for you today. Thanks for showing up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you liked this and would like to see more content like it, please subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a fabulous day.